Zach hates it.
No, I don't. I really love it. Actually, I brought this same topic up, ingredients for a perfect essay, 3 weeks ago, and all of you shit on it. And by
No, I
all,
didn't
there's
because
only
I put it on the fucking calendar, and that's why we're doing it today.
such a liar.
Booyah! What? Where do you think the idea came
I have
from?
hot water in this mug. If I could, I would splash it all over your face and make you look like Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Anyway, welcome to It's Just Brunch, number 9. Holy crap. We have done 2 months of this. I love you guys.
Let's do two more.
Let's do 2 more. Let's
But then
make this
stop.
get crazy. Yeah, and then stop. 4 months and we're out. How are you guys doing? What's up, Coco? You got some good news.
I did get some good news. I'm graduating with my MFA this July, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a postgraduate teacher training program at Fairfield, and I'm gonna get to teach my own composition class.
Yay!
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Joining the forces of adjunct labor.
Yay!
I
Yay!
got a lot of lube.
Oh, Lube, you're fucking ridiculous. Nice. And how about you, Zachy? How are you?
I'm doing very well. Michael graduated from Yale this week. That was really great for me to just leech off of that. Really,
Yay, Michael.
Yeah, I
Nice
know,
big,
Michael.
nice big coattails to
really,
ride.
I'm sleeping on those coattails. And I got a book in the mail. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this because it's conflicting to our website, but I got a book in the mail that I was asked to review. Not asked to review, but am reviewing a book, and that's just very exciting. It makes me feel very official, and it's going to be on the cover of the New Yorker, so watch out.
Wait,
That's
what?
pretty
No,
awesome.
lie. No, that's a fucking
Oh
lie.
my god!
No, I'm sure it will
Put
be
it
in
on the cover anyway.
I was gonna say I would have gotten an email of you shitting your pants if
Yeah,
that
no,
was
absolutely.
it.
No, absolutely.
So what's
But
the
I mean,
book?
it's still cool
What's the
wherever it
book?
is. What's the book? It's called. Hold on, let me grab it. Shit, where did I put it? There. I don't know if it's.
He can't ever just say the title. He has to
I don't know
show
what the
it.
title is. I just got it. God damn.
Oh.
But I don't. I mean, I don't know if this is advanced copy. I don't think so. I mean, it looks like it was. Let me just check.
Oh god, no one reads our blog anyway. It's
That's
fine.
true. Okay, so this is the book. It's called Billy, Me, and You, and it's a graphic novel.
Cool.
So yeah, so I get to do something with that, but it's about the author's son who died, and she wrote a journal about it, and so she turned the journal into a graphic novel. So it's going to be, just a page turner of life.
Nice light read.
Right.
Jesus.
So I'm expecting to just have comedies on in the background to kind of balance that out. So yeah, that's my life. But thank you for asking, Kate. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Work is officially insane, but the year's
You know what
almost
I've had?
over. What?
Do you know what I've had?
It. Officially.
Did it
That-
really freeze? Oh,
No, we're good. We're good. Did you freeze? Did Zach freeze?
Zach, are you there?
Is he
Are you there?
joking? Is he joking?
God damn it!
Were you joking?
What?
Were you joking, Frozen, or were you really frozen?
No, I was just screaming at my camera, going, "Of all the days!"
Oh man.
It looked like you were joking, so I would
Yeah,
go
you're
with
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's probably going to stay in the blog, and I'm sure that's going to be posted all over the webs. It's going to be on Imager, and
you're gonna get on Tosh.0 finally. But anyway,
he's a terrible person.
back to me if you don't mind. No, I really don't have anything else to say. Work is my life right now. Yeah, things are okay. The blog is blogging along, so I'm happy. Yeah, so let's dive into this week's topic. We've got Memorial Day tomorrow because
Yeah.
today is Sunday.
Right.
So happy Memorial Day, everybody! And Memorial Day is a time for picnics,
Cookouts,
cookouts, barbecues,
barbecues,
special family recipes.
lots of ingredients.
So many ingredients, all the ingredients.
All the ingredients.
So today we're talking about the ingredients for a great story or essay.
Da da da.
Some of our favorite ingredients. So I guess we'll just dig into that. All right, I'm done with these metaphors.
um, well, what's your favorite ingredient, Zach, for a good story or a good essay?
My favorite ingredient is the title. I think the title is. I'll say it. I don't care. I'll say it. I think it's one of the most important parts of an essay or a story. I think it sets
Show your
up,
work on that.
it sets up the tone. It is the first impression to the reader, and it's if I write a story called Giggles, and it's all about animal mutation, it doesn't really work.
Mutilation?
So, what did I say?
Mutation?
Did I say mutation? I'm writing a story, Giggles, about X-Men animals.
Are you writing Animorphs? Are you the ghostwriter for Animorphs?
Oh.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Tobias,
Anyway.
he was the hawk who got stuck as a hawk.
Oh, you really know your Animorphs. Okay.
He wrote it.
I know.
Yeah, I wrote it.
I knew it was a 5-year-old.
Right.
Because they came out like, what, 20 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, I'm old. But yes, I think titles are very important. I think I think it just sets up the tone for the story or an essay, and I think it unfortunately a shitty title could really hurt the relationship between an author and a reader. But that's
Well, is that you're pretty good at titles because I've read some of your work, and you spend time in it. I don't. I admit that. I just put whatever, like usually the first word of the essay is the title, and then it's working title until it gets published.
right.
Which is never so far.
Join the club.
Well, let me ask you this then. Like, what's your favorite title, and what's your least favorite title?
My favorite title? Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. Like of my own titles?
Or of any's of mine.
Putting me on the spot. I actually, God, this is so dumb. I bring Kim Kupperman up all the time, but I love the title of her book. I just lately started buying Wings. I think that is because it's the title of one of the essays, and in context, it's about someone who's talking about buying chicken wings. But in the sense of the book, it makes it just covers so much. I think it's absolutely fucking genius.
And the subtitle of that too, Mrs.
Oh yeah, the subtitle is so beautiful. Missives from the Other Side of Silence. I love it.
Nailed it, Kim. Nailed it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you fucking nailed it. I also love Nalini's book, What You Call Winter. I think that's beautiful. Because that also, I think, is. They're very simple, but they're so complex. What titles do I hate? I actually don't like Alison Bechdel's title, Fun Home. I understand why it was called that because it lived in a funeral home, so the kids called it Fun Home, but I don't think it really captures. I don't know. It doesn't draw me in. I don't know. I guess that's probably what I mean about titles. If they're super super simple, that can either be really really like grabs you. You know what I mean? Where if a book's just called like Red, they can be like, oh, what the hell does that mean? But I don't know. Am I making sense? It's just so early in the morning.
I know. First thing, haven't even had my mimosa yet.
Right.
So.
I think there's totally a lot of examples where a really good title is all you need to draw you in, and of course
right.
the text has to do the rest. But I think there's instances where the title can actually make you stop and say, "Wow, what's that about?"
And also, if you're writing like a flash piece, something really short, or even a poem, the title can sort of inform the piece without adding words to it. You know what I mean? Like it can sort of set the tone, like Zach was saying, and sort of give you a couple of extra words without actually adding to the body of work. So yeah, I think titles are important.
And I think it also sort of speaks about the author as well, because I mean, especially, I'm probably going to speak mostly with poetry, that poetry titles, I mean, poetry in general is very, if you can believe it, poetic. That a title can, I mean, I think it speaks to the author, that type of writing style. So I think it's also that type of clue, which I think, unfortunately, titles do this, or not titles, Jesus God, it's just so early, I'm so tired. Book covers do that as well. Which unfortunately authors I know don't have a lot of say in them, but I mean it's that type of initial impression that.
Yeah.
All right, we got titles. Let's add some more ingredients.
Mm-hmm. Kate.
Me? Okay. Well, I have a couple. I guess the big one for me is usually the journey of a character and not necessarily the plot of the story. Wow, it just got really dark here for 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you just
I was just like plunged into darkness.
you just made that really dark, Kate.
All right.
Character.
The journey into the forest. But for me, the story itself, like the plot doesn't really have to move much, but a character's growth and development has to be pretty substantial. I like books like that. Where
So what characters have really stuck with you?
characters that have stuck with me.
Anne of Green Gables.
Well, I mean,
Or characters' journeys, maybe. Maybe that's
characters' journeys. I would say, even though I totally dissed her in my first blog post, Jo March, because, it was the story of her family, and she spent her whole life fighting to write anything but about her family, and then she finally did. So it was like, it was growth in that she realized she didn't have to go out and do these like magnificent things in order to write. She just had to write what she knew. So that was sort of this internal journey that didn't take her farther than, her own house. She didn't have to go off to New York, even though she did. So yeah, I would say Jo March is a good example of growing like that. And the other ingredient for me is an interesting structure, because it keeps me interested and it shows me different ways that I can write, because sometimes I get caught up in the idea that I have to write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, but then I read something like Black Girl, White Girl by Joyce Carol Oates that I reviewed, and it's chapter and then just a page of italic memory, or a chapter and then just a quote from somebody, and it just mixes it up, and it shows me that you can think outside the box and do whatever you want with your story, and you can put it together any way you'd like, and that is really freeing. Or Mrs. Dalloway, there's no chapters. I didn't even realize there were no chapters until I got to the end. It just goes straight through, like it just never stops, just stream of consciousness, So for me, interesting structures and the journey of a character would be my ingredients that I would like to add to this literary salad we're making.
Okay, so we got a great title, we've got a great journey, and an interesting structure.
And how about you, Coco?
What I'm going to add is the caring, the love.
Sprinkle it in.
Yeah, well, what I mean is, like, to me, a story or an essay or a poem is good. In fact, it's great if I care. And that could mean a lot of things. And usually it means, like, the question is, like, that we always get in MFA programs is what's at stake? Why should we care about this character or this story? It doesn't always mean that, because sometimes you can have something with a really sort of magnificent plot with a lot at stake for the main character and all the other characters. An example for me that I didn't quite care about in the book form, although I like the movie, is The Hunger Games. I read it. I read the first one. I didn't read the whole thing, but I didn't care. But on the flip side, I like books like, or stories like Mark Doty, who is a poet and a memoirist, has written a couple of books. One of them is called Heaven's Coast, which is about his journey to survive in the face of his partner's very slow and agonizing death. And what's interesting about that is that it seems pretty straightforward, right? Like, okay, you're going to care about him because his partner's dying, and it's sad and blah blah blah. But the thing that he does is that he takes us into every nook and cranny of that journey into death and into survival by showing us like the moments where he, for example, cheated on his partner who was dying, and felt bad about it, and then but it's like he makes it's such a human story that you can't help but empathize and care. And then on the flip side, caring doesn't always have to be necessarily positive. In one of my workshops a couple of years ago, the workshop leader had us read this essay called "The Culture of Celebrity" by Joseph Epstein, who is, he's a pretty intellectual thinker, but he's somebody who I don't necessarily agree with ideologically. And a lot of the essay he spent writing about how in the world of literature, we spend a lot of time studying people like Susan Sontag, who he just rags on, just because they're popular, right? Because they're literary celebrities. Mm-hmm. And I read the whole thing and I finished it and I was like, oh my God, this asshole, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, how can you say this? And I just felt very incensed. And then the workshop leader pointed out, but you're talking about it, and I was talking about it. I did care a lot about, because I read the whole thing, so he got me to care in sort of a way that made me worked up and a little bit angry. But it was still, I think, successful.
Right, yeah, he had you asking questions about him as a writer, but then also about the nature of what it means to be, what good writing is.
Exactly.
You think that was his intention?
That was what she shared the piece for. We spent a lot of time talking about that. And I do think that was his intention, yeah. And so I think he succeeded.
Cool. That's interesting, because I would never, I would just be wary about writing something of like that because of how it then makes the author look. I mean, for the sense of how, regardless if he believes it or not, but did that make you want to read his?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, he kind of sacrificed himself in order for this piece. Like, he wasn't somebody I thought I would have to read more of, because I was like, wow, I really disagree with him. I mean, it was well written. Then maybe he thought, you know what, fuck it. I think he does. I mean, I don't think he was trying to be provocative. I think he did believe everything he wrote. Mm-hmm. But he wrote it in a way that came off as provocative for me just because I disagreed with it. Other people actually agreed with it.
Like the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yep.
They agree.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
They agree. I don't think anybody actually agrees with them.
No, but I mean, they believe strongly in their ideas without regard to how it makes them look.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously an extreme example, but I mean, it's that type of those who are so passionate about, whatever. I'm getting off topic.
No. I mean, it's an extreme example, but the point stands that yes, if you write with that kind of passion, even if somebody disagrees with it, as I did with this guy, it can still be successful because you are stimulating those emotions in your reader, which is kind of one of the main points of writing to me.
Right.
Yeah, and I think as new writers who were, in an MFA program kind of bred to be obsessed with the idea of being published, I think that we give too many shits about what people think about our writing.
Absolutely.
Like, I think that we may censor ourselves more than we should, or try and fit our forms into something that is readily digestible for the reader. I understand the reader-author relationship is important, but I'm glad that guy wrote an essay that pissed you off, Colin, because
you know what?
I don't think we should be worried about
alienating.
I'll link to
it when we post the video.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just don't. I think we need to worry less about um, losing readers and more about writing what we need to write.
I
Very
absolutely, I absolutely agree. As someone who firmly believes that the author-reader relationship is the most important part of writing, I I 100% agree with you, Kate, that I think we need to stop taking the emphasis off of centering ourselves for the sake of the reader, or for the sake of ourselves, of how we don't want to go too far with this essay, we don't want to reveal too much because we don't want to gross out a reader, or we don't want to isolate a reader, or whatever. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. In a program where publishing is very emphasized, that I mean, I know when I write, when I look at it as a whole and kind of have all of these ingredients in here, at least what I think are the ingredients to a great essay, then I'm first thinking of how do I market this. Unfortunately, I think that way. Market it, regardless, marketing for publishing, marketing for my reader, something like that. But I do think about it kind of like a business letter, which kind of sucks, and I wish we were able to be a little more unconscious about that.
Yeah. It says, I mean, I think and publishing is something we can talk about on another brunch because I don't know, I feel like it's all kind of like an ego fest. And yes, of course we all want to get published, but when it comes to the ingredients of a great story, publishable,
It's
not
not.
on my
No,
list.
you're right. Yeah, because there's a lot of published stories that aren't all that good.
Are we talking about James Franco again?
Twilight. All of teen literature right now, pretty much. I mean, not all of it, but I mean, you go in Barnes and Noble, and it's just like there is like a section within YA that's like vampire romance, and it's like 10 shelves.
Right.
Yeah, but they call that publishable because guess what? People want vampire romance.
Yeah, I mean, it's easily consumable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. That is absolutely what it is. That is easy. It's very superficial,
Mhm.
and that is not an ingredient on my list. At least it's you
Said it.
gotta get to the heart.
I don't know. I think we should write one.
Yeah?
I do.
What would we call it?
Oh, you see, title again.
Oh wait,
No, well, I don't know. We'll call it We Gave Up.
no, I got it. Don't tell mom I fucked the neighborhood vampire.
Done. I would buy that,
This shit is writing itself.
and I would read it under the blankets with a flashlight.
And a flashlight. A
And some
flashlight?
baby oil. A flashlight or a flashlight? Oh,
Well, I think that's all the ingredients for today.
yeah, that's why we always like get to the edge and start getting gross.
This is the second week in a row we've talked about sex.
Yeah. At least there's not sex with dead people.
Yeah.
Oh, I mentioned it. Oh.
Wait,
Oh God damn it! What'd you say, Zach?
Vampire, they're dead.
They're dead. What are we doing? We gotta save some of this spooky stuff for Halloween. But yeah, okay. So here's the plan. We're all gonna get off here and write the first chapter of the vampire novel, and we will workshop that.
Perfect.
And
I think we're done. We've got the title. That's all you need.
you're right. I mean, it's just gonna write itself. All right. So anyway, before we go off and sell out and become millionaires by writing shitty vampire romance, let's talk about what's coming up on the blog that we do for free this week. We're doing life wrong. We're doing life so wrong. I am doing a writing prompt on Monday, and I don't know what it's going to be about, even though it's tomorrow.
I might just use that writing prompt for whatever I write on Tuesday. Actually, I'm going to talk about since it's Memorial Day weekend right now.
Yes.
I think I may talk about what the idea of taking writing vacations, and how that can be important to writing. Even the idea of writing every day is important, but the idea of taking a vacation is important too.
Nice. And then I'm back again on Wednesday, and I'll be talking about regret.
You had
and then on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about first lines.
The line
Not a
after the
song.
title. The line after the title, right?
Not Coke lines.
Not hook lines.
Coke.
Oh, Coke lines. That's upsetting
The
that
joke's
you won't be
over.
talking about Coke line. Oh, I know, we killed it. All right, and then Friday maybe we'll have a book review.
Fingers crossed.
And there were crickets all around. Yeah, so we'll probably put up a book review of some kind, and then
Maybe a guest blog on Saturday. Cokey?
We're still waiting.
So look for great content Monday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, we'll
Take a
see what
vacation.
happens. Yeah, it's just brunch, guys. We're getting way too serious about this.
Oh,
Right.
jeez.
Oh, jeez. All right, so enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching, and happy Memorial Day, and we will see you next time and this week on the blog. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Blame it on Bianca Del Rio.
Oh, yes! Congratulations, Bianca Del Rio!
Yay.
Woo! We love you, and we've wanted you to win forever, so.
Zach didn't.
I did want her to win. I was just
Ooh.
a boring fucking season.
Anyway,
Okay.
we love you, Bianca. Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Bye. Just turn it
Love,
up.
love, peace, and drag queens.
Ah.
Forever. Shut up, Zach. Bye.